Alongside Patrick Brown, I'm Ryan Callahan of GoVols 24/7 here inside Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The scene of the crime tonight. Tennessee clearly did not have its best day in a 19-14 loss to the Razorbacks. Tennessee was coming off an open date where it's traditionally very good under Josh Heupel. He was 8-1 as a head coach, 3-0 at Tennessee coming off open dates before this, and the Vols just didn't really show up in the way we normally see from them. They went scoreless in the first half, I believe for the first time under Josh Heupel, and they recovered a little bit at the beginning of the second half, back-to-back scoring drives, but then let it slip away at the end with the backup quarterback, Malachi Singleton, leading Arkansas to the go-ahead score in the final 2 minutes, and Tennessee doesn't answer there at the end. Patrick, lots of questions I feel like coming out of this one, starting with, is this the Tennessee team that we can expect to see the rest of the year?
Yeah, Ryan, that's the big question to me. Is this just an off night, which you have sometimes, or is this a sign of deeper issues? Only time is going to tell and how this team responds. But on its own, Ryan, this was just a dismal performance from Tennessee. When you play this poorly, you can't have any complaints when you lose. And Tennessee had a chance to steal it at the end, but it would probably not have been deserved. They played poorly. Arkansas was, I think, probably better in the trenches. Tennessee made a lot of mistakes. The offense really didn't do anything outside of 2 touchdown drives to open the third quarter. The defense lived on the edge. Did get some 4th down stops in the first half. Maybe got some luck here and there. Made a lot of stops in the second half, but at the end they couldn't make the final stop. But to be honest, Ryan, I put a lot of this on the offense, and really it's a full program, full systems failure, because you can't come off an open date and play that poorly. It's inexcusable, and it's not something that championship teams do. So Tennessee's got to go back to the drawing board. They've got to figure some things out. They've got to play better. They've got to coach better. And this is a setback for their long-term season goals. But, in the age of 12-team playoff, it's not doomsday. It will feel like it, but it's going to have to start with the response, and he's going to have to play better moving forward after this one.
That's maybe the big picture takeaway. Of course, Alabama losing, some other teams losing.
It's 5 or 6 of the top 11 today.
Yeah, it's full carnage throughout college football, so it's not the end of the world to lose one game. You still got Alabama and Georgia to play. That's the tough part of this, is now Tennessee's path to the playoff. A lot of people probably assumed didn't involve a loss at Arkansas, so this makes it tougher for Tennessee. But in the grand scheme of things, I think the bigger question is, can Tennessee rebound offensively? We've seen the offensive line now struggle in back-to-back games. Even with Lance Hurd and John Campbell out there tonight, it wasn't pretty. And Nico Iamaleava in the passing game never really getting started. They hit a deep pass in the final minute there to put Tennessee in range of the end zone, but otherwise not impressive numbers from Nico Iamaleava.
No, he was 16 of 28 for 156 yards. He didn't have a pass longer than 17 yards until that final drive, which was a great play, but then he can't finish it off and runs out of bounds on the final play. He said he saw Dante Thornton open, knew that pass was going to get batted down. Saw Chris Brazzell, but I think he said he lost control of the ball at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a young quarterback. Now, I don't think he saw the field very great. I don't know if it was the pressure, but I don't know how much you could see on TV. But it looked like he had some guys open over the middle of the field. We've seen Tennessee work the middle of the field a lot in the first 4 games, but that was very absent in this game. And then, Ryan, you mentioned the offensive line issues, penalties, not running the football well. They did get Dylan Sampson going a little bit in the second half, but they were not winning up front. And when you don't win up front, that's hard. They were committing penalties. And really, I think the pressure, maybe that was why Nico wasn't seeing the field great, because he was feeling pressure and he was feeling it from an early standpoint. So, bad night for the offensive line, and bad night for the offense in general.
I think, 4 sacks, 5 penalties for the offensive line?
Yeah, I think there were 3 sacks in the first 14 plays, and some of those were 7-man protections. They didn't pick up a blitz that caused some issues. Just bad.
And for the defense, which we had seen Tennessee kind of lean on that group, they come out, Arkansas drives more than 9 minutes on the opening possession, and they kept Arkansas they limited the damage for the most part, but Arkansas had other chances to add more points in the first half, so it could have been worse. Just didn't seem like this group's best night. They still showed up at times, but again, with the game on the line, a backup quarterback led Arkansas to the go-ahead score.
Yeah, let's give Arkansas some credit. They made some plays. Taylor Green made some great throws. A couple of plays that Jermon McCoy gave up. He was in great position. Sometimes you got to chalk it up. The other team made a play, but to get gashed on the final drive like that, I think is disappointing. They did let Arkansas score there at the end. I think that should be noted, but that doesn't really change anything. Doesn't really solve any problems. They had just worked themselves in that position where it was either let them bleed the clock, kick field goal, or just let him score and hope you can win him on the other end. But they lived on the edge, and ultimately they didn't come up with it. Didn't come up with the goods at the end of the game either. And Tennessee leaves this game with some guys beaten up too.
Yeah. Yeah, Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, both were out of the game. Yeah, so it's plenty of things to watch for in the days to come, plenty of things to talk about coming out of this game, and we've got full coverage of all that at GoVols 24/7. Go to GoVols247.com to read all of that and much more.